Once upon a time in a small kingdom, there lived a beautiful young princess named Snow White. She was kind, gentle, and loved by all who knew her. Her mother, the queen, had passed away when Snow White was just a baby, leaving her father, King Frederick, to raise her alone. The king was a wise and fair ruler, but he was also very busy with his duties as king. He often worked long hours and didn't have much time for his daughter. One day, while the king was away on a diplomatic mission, an evil queen came to their kingdom. She was jealous of Snow White's beauty and wanted to be the most beautiful woman in the land. The queen could not stand that Snow White was so beautiful that everyone loved her, so she decided to harm her. She went to the castle and asked the servants to give her some food. When they saw how much she ate, they realized that she was trying to kill Snow White by making her fat and ugly. The servants were afraid of the queen and did not want to anger her further, so they kept quiet about what had happened. However, Snow White's 7 dwarf friends heard about the evil queen's plan and decided to help her. They went to the forest and gathered 7 magical beans that would grow into a giant bean sprout that would make Snow White tall enough to reach the top of the castle windows. The dwarfs then disguised themselves as servants and went to the queen's palace, where they gave her one of the beans. The queen ate the bean and soon grew taller than anyone else in the kingdom. She went to the castle and tried to climb up to Snow White's window, but she couldn't reach it. Furious at being unable to harm Snow White, the queen ordered her servants to bring her a mirror so she could see herself. The mirror reflected back her true form, a hideously ugly woman with a heart full of hatred. Realizing that she could never become beautiful like Snow White, the queen decided to take matters into her own hands. She went to the forest and found the 7 dwarfs, who were now living in a small cottage. The queen tricked them into giving her another magic bean, promising them that she would use it for good. When the dwarfs discovered what she had done, they were furious and chased her out of their home. Meanwhile, King Frederick returned from his diplomatic mission and was greeted by his loyal subjects. They told him about the evil queen's plan and how she had tried to harm Snow White. The king was shocked and saddened by his daughter's fate. He immediately set out for the queen's palace, determined to save his daughter from harm. When King Frederick arrived at the queen's palace, he found her sitting on a throne surrounded by servants. He demanded to know why she had tried to harm Snow White and why she had taken the magic beans. The queen admitted that she was jealous of Snow White's beauty and wanted to be the most beautiful woman in the land. King Frederick was furious and ordered his guards to arrest the queen. As they took her away, the queen begged for mercy, promising to turn over a new leaf if given another chance. King Frederick, however, was not interested in forgiveness. He sentenced the queen to life in prison, where she would spend eternity locked away in a dark cell. Back at the castle, King Frederick reunited with his daughter and vowed to protect her from any future harm. He made sure that Snow White had everything she needed and taught her important lessons about kindness and respect for others. As time passed, Snow White grew into a beautiful young woman who was loved by all who knew her. She remained grateful for her father's love and guidance.